Stock markets opened Thursday with optimism, but it didn't take long for that optimism to fade. A fresh U.S. inflation report came in much hotter than expected, and that sent ripples across Wall Street. The Producer Price Index, which tracks wholesale prices, jumped 0.9% in July. That's the biggest monthly gain since June 2022, and far higher than the 0.2% increase economists had forecast. For context, this index was flat just the month earlier in June. Why is this so important? Because wholesale prices often act as an early warning sign for consumer prices. In other words, if costs are going up for businesses, they may soon pass those costs to you and me. Initially, markets tried to rally in the morning, but then Treasury yields surged to session highs, crushing the momentum. By midday, the Dow Jones was down over 140 points. The S&P 500 was barely above break-even, and the Nasdaq was also stuck near the flat line. The inflation surprise also shook expectations for Federal Reserve interest rate cuts. While traders are still betting on about a 91% chance of a quarter-point cut in September, the possibility of a bigger half-point cut completely disappeared, according to the CME's FedWatch tool. Markets have now ruled it out. Some analysts, like Horizon Investments' Scott Ladner, say one bad inflation print isn't enough to change the Fed's course, but we'd need to see multiple months of rising inflation before worrying about a major policy shift. On the corporate side, there was no shortage of drama. Miami International Holdings, the parent company of the MIAX exchange, made a stunning debut on the New York Stock Exchange, soaring over 43% from its IPO price. Paramount Skydance gave back more than 6% after rallying 37% the day before in its best day ever. Amcor, the packaging giant, plunged over 14% after missing earnings expectations and issuing weak guidance. Small-cap stocks also took a hit. The Russell 2000 dropped more than 1%, underperforming the S&P 500 and Nasdaq. This comes even after a strong week for small caps overall. Meanwhile, the race for the next Fed chair is making headlines. Economist Mark Summerlin confirmed he's on the shortlist, and he's calling for a bold 50 basis point rate cut, saying it's a no-brainer. But inside the Fed, not everyone agrees. St. Louis Fed President Alberto Musalem is cautious, noting inflation risks are easing slightly, but labor market risks are rising. He also made it clear that a half-point cut isn't supported by current conditions. Globally, markets in Asia-Pacific closed mixed. Hong Kong's Hang Seng fell 0.37%, Japan's Nikkei dropped 1.45%, while Australia's ASX gained over 0.5%. In crypto, Bitcoin hit a record $123,693, while Ether climbed over 5%, nearing its 2021 high. Gold mining stocks are also making a comeback. UBS says balance sheets are strong, buybacks are expected to increase, and investor confidence is finally returning after years of underperformance. So, what's next? Investors are now laser-focused on the Fed's September meeting. Will we see the rate cut that markets are banking on? Or will this burst of inflation force the Fed to keep its foot on the brake? One thing's for sure, the next few weeks could bring plenty of twists and turns, and we'll be right here to break it all down for you.